Dude, this is not gonna beat the other tail of the turd. I have a feeling that I will never be able to beat the other tail. In fact, I hope I will never be able to beat the other tail of the turd, which had literal feces covering my entire lower half.
Dude, the feces worms is still burning to my mind.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Weird.
Yeah, woof, straining.
Gruesome.
It's a lot of feces and a lot of pressure to strain through underwear.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll never beat that tail. But today I had an encounter with the turd that left me a little bit scarred, if I'm going to be honest with you. And this had nothing to do with defecating on myself, thankfully. But it definitely had to do with reverse raping myself. Oh, it was bad, dude. So look, I'm gonna give you a prelude because it's very important. So I came over in the morning, and by came over I mean not here, but to your place, and you know, I was noshing on some pork rinds because clearly I'm a pork myself and a cannibal apparently.
Yeah.
So I was noshing on some rinds, and there's those particularly like puffy ones.
Yeah.
You know, so they're very flaky, right? So I'm noshing on them, and you know, they're very dry and shit. They're salt and pepper ones to boot, so it's like, damn, homie, some fucking water up in this piece. But then, just as I'm about to get some water, the urge to purge hits me, and I gotta go lay a mad duke, right? So I go over to the crapper. I sit down, and it's like knocking on my back door, dude. The remix of Knocking on Heaven's Door, by the way.
God damn it, it's all about dukes.
By Blob Dylan. It's just me with a guitar. But anyway, I'm about to lay that mad goose, man. And I sit down, and the moment I sit down, it's already like beginning to peek out of me. But simultaneously, one of those little fucking flakes of rind goes down my fucking, you know, the wrong chute. You know, into my lungs, basically.
Lung chute.
And I begin to cough. Well, by begin, I mean, really, I just let out one cough. Dude. That is the worst thing that ever happened, that cough. Because the moment I coughed, I shot out that turd at a rate that clearly broke Mach 3 at the very least.
And straight tap into the Speed Force.
Look, the turd shot out and it was done. That was all the turd that was in me. That was this one turd that had to get out, I guess. But the problem came right afterwards. It wasn't the size of the turd, because afterwards, after all was said and done, I looked at it and it was just a normal little turdlet. You know what I'm saying? Like one of them little, like not even a Snickers bar.
Yeah.
Pointed at both ends. You know?
Was it like hard?
No, it was just the regular.
Just the speed?
Yeah, it was literally just the fact that I coughed, and when you cough, your fucking ass, your sphincter shuts down. I'm sorry. So I was already in the midst of shooting out this turd when I coughed. So instead of shutting, my sphincter opened up more though. In my mind, when it happened, I imagined my shit just like straight up rosebudding.
Oh.
I hope that's not what happened, but fuck, dude. Forget the turd. The agony that came from that thing shooting out at me tells me that I didn't cut the turd. I literally, like, instead of my sphincter shutting, it went out the other way.
Yeah.
I can only describe it as fire, dude. And it was so painful. And, of course, you know, we use the same restroom as it is in the same house over there. It's a really small restroom for a big fucking dude, you know?
Small.
Like, if we lean over, we're touching the wall. It's that small. I was clawing the wall with agony. You know when you don't know what to do and you're just like, you know. Dude, I was like, and you know when you're in such pain that you wish that your nails would literally dig trowels into it? That's what I was wishing. I was like, I hope I ripped this tile off. It was so fucking agonizing, dude. And it took about a good minute for that pulsing pain to go away. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've taken one shit after since then. Man, I don't know if it's just the paranoia of what happened, but my ass felt incredibly loose.
Dude, your sphincter, you ruined your sphincter.
I ruined my sphincter.
I gotta say, I did have, thankfully it wasn't sphincter ruining, because my sphincter is literally already a freaking a war
zone.
War zone. Yeah, it's constantly hideously stinky. I don't know what that has to do with war zones. I just want to throw that in there. But when I was in 4th grade, I remember it was one time. I couldn't have been. It had to have been shit. Yeah, because of how it ended. But like this one time, I was going into class, and like it was started in the stomach. My stomach was like hurting, and then my ass was, like you said, like on fire, dude. And it was a weird pain because I couldn't even touch my ass.
Oh, was it one of those where you're trying to hold in the shit and it's just like your ass is quivering?
Yeah, it's like quivering and
it starts
pain,
to burn. Yeah.
It was so bad, dude. I was trying to make it to the restroom because, you know, clearly I had to drop the goose, right, at that point. So I was trying to make it to the restroom. And I remember this dude came out of the thing basically looking for me because I was taking forever because literally my sphincter was splitting in twain. And I have never seen a more worried guy. He is like, dude, are you okay? And I'm like, oh! I don't remember what I said.
Was the door open to the toilet?
Well, they don't have doors.
Oh my god, it was one of those?
Yeah, it was just like a slit that you go in. Oh. But no, he came out of the classroom to look for me because I kept taking forever. So I was trying to make it to the restroom. He's like, dude, are you okay? And I remember he like grabbed. This was a weird thing that kids used to do a lot. Whenever you would get hurt, they would insist on grabbing your arm and going like this. Like, what is that?
They saw it in a movie and it looked cool.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So he does that, and I'm like, dude, my asshole splitting in twain. And he like walks me into the restroom and goes and tells the class, or hopefully not the class. Here he
his ass is splitting in twain.
Straight sphincter. And I remember, dude, it was hurt so bad that when I got to the freaking toilet, I couldn't like even bend down.
Oh, damn. Homie.
I tried to sit and it was like pure anal rape, dude. I don't know what it was. Like there was no turd in there, but like my asshole was in so much pain. Damn. I couldn't sit down. And it was so bad that I had to basically...
My asshole. My asshole.
It was so bad that I basically had to walk to the nurse's office, which was super far, by the way, and it was the worst experience ever. This homie freaking let me down by not bringing help.
That's the one time you needed the prop up.
I was like, dude, come on. Lift my legs up and carry me there. Anyway, I walked all the way to the freaking nurse's office, and I was laying on my side because I couldn't touch my ass. It was like one of the worst pains I've felt in my life. It was terrible.
But there was no feces?
There was no feces. And I was just like, what is this, dude? But I knew that I had to shit. But I was like, what is this? And I was like in so much pain. I remember they were calling grandma to come pick me up. And suddenly, like a freaking Mack truck hitting freaking Stephen King for the 50th time. I had to take a mad dookie. And I was like, dude, I got a duke. And she's like, all right, go to the restroom. She wouldn't let anybody use the restroom, but she let me use it because I was about to freaking lay a goose in my pants. And I remember just like it was, I mean, it still hurt, but I just ripped it, you know. I just went in and dropped Mad Dookie. And dude, I didn't even touch the bowl and my shit was just shooting out. Like you said, at freaking Mach speed. Yes, I burped. And I was like straight channeling Grant Gustin and that shit. He was like, doodly coming out my asshole. I was like, what is this? Oh, dude, it was so bad. It was a straight ass point, not flash point. Anyway, I shit. And I remember I was sitting there for so freaking long. When I got up, the bowl was full of caca, dude.
Damn, homie.
It was full of shit. And it was like these weird like little nuggets. Like these weird like pale nuggets of poop. I mean, not white, but you know, like light, really light brown. The white nuggets of shit all the way up to the freaking top. And I was like, ugh, gruesome. And then I got out, and you know, I was already on my way home, so I was like, oh, it hurt. I didn't poop. So I was just basically, you know, faking it to get a day off. Unfortunately, on my way home, I straight up shat my pants. So it backfired on me. It was bad, dude.
Well, at least it made your now fake excuse to go home credible.
True. Dude, that was one of the worst. I don't know what the hell's wrong with my shit. Maybe I ate something bad the day before, some bad beanie weenie or some shit. But that was one of the most intense turds I've ever had.
Damn, well, we used to love Beanie Weenie for some reason.
That was you, dude.
Me, I don't
I
like.
never had Beanie Weenie.
You used to always buy Beanie Weenie.
Never have I bought Beanie Weenie.
You were all about the Beanie Weenie, dude.
I used to make my own beanie. Like, Grandma would make beans and I'll put weenies in them.
That's Beanie Weenie.
But I wouldn't buy Beanie Weenie.
I have one last tale of the turd. And this happened. I may have told this. Stop me if I have. When I was young, my grandmother used to go and give people, like, Bible studies, basically. And she had this lady that she would frequent a lot. And this lady, I don't know if she disliked me or I don't know what the fuck. I was a fucking little kid. Yeah, I didn't do anything either. I would just go, and while they were studying, I would read a book that I had from the library. That's literally everything anything I ever did there. But this lady, I'm going to assume she hated me because she wouldn't let me be in the same room as them, and she would put me in what I can only describe a room of horrors. Because it was a room full of her religious statuary. And this chick did not cut corners when it came to them statues. They were huge, elaborate.
I think you did tell us, but
did I?
But
dude, and everything, all the walls were draped in red except for, the places where the statues were set.
Yeah.
So yeah, she had like a huge like Virgin Mary with all that like just ornate
all the group
halo and shit. Jesus, a Judas, and they were like really gruesome.
Yeah.
Those especially grody looking ones.
Yeah.
And she would sit me there while they did the study, and I would be like reading my little fucking book of like King Kong or the Invisible Man or some shit. And I'd be like, what is this, right? Anyway, one day I really, really, really had to use the restroom, man. Clarification. I did not have to poop. I had to pee. And I went into the room where they were studying, and she looked particularly annoyed at that. And I was like, can I use your restroom? And she's like, yeah, it's right there, right? So I go into the restroom, and I pee, right? And that's it. I go back and read my little book. Well, the next week that we're set to go there to that particular person, and I got to make this clear. Everywhere that I went, when I was a kid, wherever my grandma went, I would go. I was like a grandma's boy. Like, I would be with her 24/7, you know what I'm saying? So, to me, it was just, I'm going to go with her, period,
Yeah.
It was just like...
You didn't have to ask.
Yeah, I didn't have to ask. But then she was like, no, you can't come to this lady's house. And I was like, what? Why? And then she told me that the lady told her that when they had left, she had gone to the restroom and that there was shit everywhere, all over the fucking place, and that she spent, X amount of time cleaning it, and she didn't want me to do that. So that's why I was like, damn, this lady hates me or something for some reason. Here's the thing. Here's the kicker. All right? The only reason my grandma led some credence, because grandma was going to be like, fuck that shit. Yeah. The only reason my grandma lent some credence to her is because this woman had photographic evidence of the supposed mess.
Damn, homie.
Now, I know for a friggin' fact that all I did was go in there and take a leak.
Wait, hold on. Did grandma see this poop?
Yes. Because I was
hold on.
Hold on. Because I was like, I didn't do anything.
No. I don't.
No. She saw the pictures of the photograph.
No, yeah. You totally didn't poop on the freaking walls. Where my outrage came was, that means this hag went in there and straight put feces on the wall.
That's
frame your ass.
That's the only thing I can think of that this petty ass old hag must have done something like that and blame me. Or the more sane alternative is she had a daughter that would visit her sometimes with children that I had hung out with, hung out, quote unquote. We're both there, but she said that they hadn't visited her in a month or so. Because when my grandma told me that, I was like, dude, I didn't poop in her fucking... I just peed. And then I even said, I went in, and when I came out, I had to go through the same room. And she's like, yeah, I know. It was really quick. I was like, So I could tell that grandma was. I could tell that grandma was like, yeah, clearly he didn't poop, but at the same time, she's showing me this mad dookie pics. Right?
Damn, homie. Maybe it was those creepy ass saints.
But the thing, look, either scenario sucks. That
Especially
she would
the
blame
same
me after, let's say the saner scenarios that her grandkids visited and they shit on her, but she swore up and down they didn't.
Yeah.
And she was the only one that lived there.
Yeah.
Old woman, you know?
Yeah.
That's the saner scenario that she said was not the case. The alternative is she set up a poop scenario so that I wouldn't what? Like be in her house?
Yeah, I guess.
What the fuck?
You gotta be a bored ass old hag to do that shit.
She was pretty shitty, man.
Alternatively, she got mad haunts in that freaking home. Some
Dude.
sort of poop ghoul did it.
She was just a strange woman, you know what I'm saying? She was studying this Bible study with my grandmother, but, you know, her faith was Catholicism, and she had no interest in changing to my grandmother's faith. So I was like, what is this? Is all a song and dance? Is this... She's like some lonely old woman that needs some sort of purpose.
She
the
definitely
poo
duked.
suggests
Yeah, she duked, dude.
But I did not poo in that fucking restroom, man.
She mad duked.
You know, if I would have pooed, I would have been like, fuck that shit. I'm the guy that convinced my grandmother's entire Mexican family that my name had a root in the word mierda, which translates to feces.
Yeah.
I convinced them all, again, this is in Spanish, I convinced them all that my name had a etymological root in the word mierda.
Yeah.
And they all bought it until they asked her. And she was like, did you just tell these people your name was mierda infused? And I was like, yep.
Mierda.
And then I took my lumps and that was that.
Yeah.
You know, I had no issue with mierda in general. But I did
Our
not.
whole channel's built on a fucking foundation of feast.
So yeah, man, I got blamed, I guess, for this fucking mierda heist.
I have a mini tale about an old hag, and it really has nothing to do with the hag, because the hag was actually really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But it was one of those situations, and when the hell else are we going to speak about this? Where it was one of those like Bible study play things.
Mm-hmm.
I went with grandma, and I remember I would dread going to that place because
Mm-hmm.
she had like this really barren wall, and you know I was a kid, so it seemed massive.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember at the one decoration she had on that entire wall was a freaking bullhead.
A bullhead?
Yeah, like a plastic bullhead, and it was red. And I was like, for some reason in my kid mind, I was like, that's the most horrifying thing I've ever seen in my life. Some kind of demonic bullhead just floating alone in this freaking
wall.
Yeah, in this vacant ass wall. It wasn't until I don't know, like a couple years ago, maybe like 10, 12 years ago maybe, that I realized that it was a Chicago Bulls logo.
What the fuck?
But I swear to God, that head was the most horrifying thing in my childhood, dude. I was like, "What is that head?"
That is pretty weird how that.
It was like it was very obviously like a hollow, kind of like a vinyl,
like a plastic type of thing.
Yeah, but it was horror, dude.
Huh? Yeah, that is pretty weird.
I bet you I could find that head.
I mean, there's
I
a
don't
lot
want
of
it though. Scary.
Chicago Bulls stuff out there.
Scary,
so yeah.
dude. And she
Yeah.
was like an old lady, so I don't know why that. She clearly didn't know about the Chicago Bulls.
Oh, maybe she did, man.
Damn, she was
People
dropping
are
mad hoops.
some nuts about them sports.
Maybe.
Anyway, tell us about your hags and dropping mad dukes
Like a demon.
and
Chicago.
demon bulls.
Yeah.
In the meantime, hit like, share, subscribe, with the notification buttons, guys, because we're out.